Mr. Mahesh Malik, Chief Commercial Officer, Cargo Indigo, Mr. Arvind Nayak, President, Domestic Air Cargo Agent Association, Mr. Suraj Agrawal, Secretary, Domestic Air Cargo Agent Association, distinguished dignitaries, colleagues from industries, invitees, and all my dear friends. I am delighted to be speaking virtually with you all at the 12th Convention of Domestic Air Cargo Agent Association of India. I compliment the sole registered trade association of service providers in the domestic cargo for the last 12 years. Here I appreciate you for highlighting the various issues faced by the domestic cargo agents with the government authorities, airlines, terminal operators, and regulatory bodies. I also noted that the association is now actively engaged in the multimodal transportation and last mile connectivity in India. Your contribution in constructing air cargo logistics, formulating policy, promoting trade, and strengthening the supply chain is very much recognized. The existence of well-developed air cargo infrastructure benefits not only the airport, but the region's economy as well. Air service can expedite the supply of raw material and components to the region, which attracts manufacturing steps. But it is true that in the domestic market, air cargo share is very low and the challenges are many, but the association is taking genuine efforts for improving the situation. In the era of Amrit Kal, that is the next 25 years, we are committed to make of our country Atmanirbhar Bharat. The first important thing for that is reducing the logistic cost to 8% of GDP is at the top of our agenda, and it will benefit all sectors and all the overall economy. Ideally, our first priority should be waterways, second priority is to railways, then roadways, and the last priority should be aviation. Aviation infrastructure should be developed using the latest technology. If we can make it efficient and accessible, then it will create a huge difference. Air cargo has the biggest advantage of speed, whose saving in transit time can help global business in a big way. We have a huge flight capacity. Utilization should be improved by taking appropriate measures. If we can transport more volumes by air, logistic cost will be reduced. I am interested, already I have a discussion with the Defence Minister regarding use of big aircrafts, defence aircrafts for transportation of fruits and vegetables for agriculture produce. It can be very much benefited. At the same time, a most important thing which is related with is the fuel cost. Today, the petroleum-based aviation fuel is costly. I am working on biofuel from last 20 years. I am experiencing that it can be possible that we can convert biofuel, which can be useful as aviation fuel, and we can reduce the cost. Today, I received the invitation from Aeronautics Association of India for using bio-aviation fuel. I am always confident that our agriculture produce can produce the aviation fuel. So once upon a time, before 2 years, at the program of 26 January, our defense aircraft, fighter jet and helicopters run with the bio-aviation fuel. The Dehradun Indian Oil Laboratory has successfully implemented the experiment, taking the spice jet flight from Dehradun to Delhi 50% with biofuel. I am confident by this we can reduce the logistic cost. Presently, the aviation industry by all ways is facing because of the rise in the cost of fuel, petroleum aviation fuel. And this is the time for Indian industry and a research organization that we have to have option of bio-aviation fuel, which can be lesser than the cost of petroleum aviation fuel. That day is not longer now. In due course of time, we will be succeed in this mission, and which can reduce, which is going to make economic viability in the field of aviation. Domestic air cargo is suitable mode for the transport of fruits, vegetables, flowers and seafoods. Currently, our fishing industry size is about 2.5 lakh crores, around 1% of GDP. Our idea is to take it up to 7 lakh crores, and we can double this by seafood, and at the same time, even the sweet water, we can go for the fishing and we can increase our export. Affordable air cargo system developed for transportation of fresh fish with India and abroad. This is going to increase per capita income in agriculture, rural, tribal, and particularly the people who are depending upon the sea. The economic viability is very important, because regarding the logistic cost, the cost is very important. Without that, we cannot successfully export our seafood and fishing to abroad. We have to ensure the rates should come down to 15 rupees per kg to make it viable. And that's the reason I requested Honorable Defence Minister, their old aircrafts having the huge capacity of transport, by giving this aircraft on leasing, because presently they are not useful in the defence operation, and that can be used for export of agriculture produce, flowers, vegetables, at the same time for the fishing. It can be really good idea, and I am trying to support that. Even your association can take this proposal to the Defence Ministry. This will help all stakeholders, and farmers can get all India market and fair value of their produce. Aircraft operators can get volumes and profits. We need to make measures for reducing the transit time for such products, which would build confidence in suppliers. Here I suggested that the old unused aircraft for defence and airlines can be converted into cargo planes. Already our commercial private airlines in the COVID period, they converted their flights from passenger flight to cargo flight. I am not the expert of this subject, but in the whole world, the people who are making the transport of material, they are in profit, and the people who are involved in the transport of human being, they are in the losses. So this is the time that we have to concentrate how it can be possible for us to make the transport of fruit, vegetables and fishing and other thing for 100%. It is going to increase our export for our country and create more employment potential. By reducing overall logistic cost, we can improve the viability of more products through air mode. And for that reason, I already suggesting you that fuel cost, and at the same time we will take the bigger flights from the Defence Ministry on lease basis, and then it can be possible. To increase logistic efficiency, the development of physical infrastructure and adoption of advanced digital solutions are also very important. I know that your association is constantly taking a lot of efforts for changing the industry. Our ministry is expanding road connectivity and highway infrastructure in rapid pace across the country. Today, our national highway network is carrying 70% of goods traffic, and it is increasing year on year. Our ministry is developing 26 Greenfield Express controlled highways. Delhi-Mumbai Express Highway will be open soon. Trucks will cover Delhi to Mumbai distance in just 20 to 22 hours, and this will save fuel with increased number of trips. This will significantly bring down the logistic cost. The various industrial clusters, smart cities, wayside amenities are being developed along the national highway corridors. The NHAI is developing world-class wayside amenities at more than 600 locations along the national highway. These wayside amenities will also have dormitories for truck drivers, EV charging facilities, convention centers, trauma centers, retail shops, and promoting handicrafts and locally manufacturing products. At the same time, there will be heliport, and even also for drone, the all facility for transport of material will be available. On similar line, we will also focus on the development of infrastructure like air freight stations, agri-pack houses, warehouses, and cold storage around the airports. PPP model should be encouraged for air cargo infra development. Government is developing new airport, creating heliports and expanding the capacities of terminals. The potential airports are being leased out for development of operation through PPP mode, and decision has been taken to club each of the bigger airport with nearby smaller airport. This would improve access to markets in 2-tier and 3-tier cities. We should plan and develop air cargo infrastructure in an integrated manner with the roadways, railways and waterways connectivity. The National Gati Shakti Master Plan would make Indian products more competitive by cutting down the logistic costs and improving the supply chains. It will holistic approach for building multimodal infrastructure connectivity to the economic zone as well as the last mile connectivity. We need to give priority to waterways. We should give priority to the development of industrial clusters, business centers and economic zones near the river fronts. We are developing 35 multimodal logistic parks at the capital cost of rupees 2 lakh crores. We are recently signed an MOU with Inland Waterways Authority to work together to reduce logistic cost by utilizing waterways for cargo movement. Our policies are focused on reducing logistic costs by providing efficient warehousing, cold storage, packing and value-added services. These MMLPs will have dedicated first and last mile connectivity through 4-lane road linkages to national highway, railway and waterways connectivity. They shall be further connected to air cargo terminals for speedy transportation of goods. This will help us to make our export more competitive. MMLPs are being developed and operated by private parties and thus bringing in the innovation and expertise of the large and medium scale logistics service providers for a defined concession period. Recently, I have proposed a solution to improve trade with Bangladesh. It will benefit all stakeholders, especially cotton farmers. The current trade line through sea route via JNPT, Colombo and Chitgaon for export for India faces several congestion around the year. The alternative route connecting main production center near Dhaka via hybrid river line and coastal route under the Indo-Bangladesh protocol to Haldia and thereafter in trains to JNPT and Mudra port. It will reduce logistic cost and transit time significantly. Our export will grow and benefit cotton farmers as they can supply raw material to ready-made garment manufacturers in Bangladesh. The incomes of cotton farmers will rise considerably with this initiative. In addition to our ministry is also developing emergency landing strips on national highways that can be utilized for domestic cargo purposes. The first landing facility has been inaugurated on NH 925 at Barmer of Rajasthan. Myself, along with Honorable Defence Minister, landed on this trip using C-130 Hercules plane of Indian Air Force, which is capable to carry 4 trucks on board. Some landing strips are located near the border areas, which can facilitate cross-border trade and business. I am happy to mention here that the Ministry of Civil Aviation has undertaken many schemes to promote air freight. The Krushi Uddan is one such scheme which gives 50% freight subsidy for perishables. This would help to improve value realization through better integration and optimization of in harvesting and air transportation. The subsidy has been given for last mile connectivity to an airport via trucks and rail, with a facility of trigger pricing mechanism for their northeast and Himalayan region. I would urge the freight forwarders community to take maximum advantage of these schemes to grow the domestic cargo volume and increase their converge area. We can use of returning empty aircraft from MRO, aircraft repair centers, for cargo movements, and the association should take a lead for formulating special policies to utilize movement of empty aircrafts. The government is also working on bringing a single logistic law for all modes of freight transportation, and this will eradicate duplication of process and simplify procedural requirements. This system will facilitate multimodal transportation in the true sense. Further, I appreciate the Association for the Development of the National Cargo Community System and the digitization of the freight movement. Creating digital freight corridors and neighboring countries would increase our international connectivity and boost export. We should also seek large-scale application of machine learning and artificial intelligence for developing an efficient logistic ecosystem in India. All initiatives would improve the ease of doing business ecosystem in the sector by having time in approvals, GST submission and clearances for cargo movements. This would ensure good prospects for the Indian trade and also boost the market demand for air cargo. With improving production activity and consumption trends, there is good prospect for the domestic air cargo industry. Investment into Indian supply chain infrastructure is gaining momentum with a greater participation from the private sector and increased government spending, and there are huge opportunities for foreign investors to participate in building in India supply chain infrastructure. Drone is also an emerging mode, particularly for e-commerce delivery. The government is formulating policies and regulations for large-scale commercial use of drone. The association can explore opportunity for the inclusion of drone fleets into cargo movements. With cargo infrastructure and tweak around the processes, I am sure that the domestic air cargo will achieve the large target of 3.5 million metric tons capacity before 2030. I wish the deliberations over the platform would explore further scope for technology, innovation, research and investment opportunities to revamp the Indian air cargo sector. I would also like to inform you all that we take almost care to environmental with developing infrastructure. We are working with the Ministry of Environmental on formulating a new policy on tree bank. It is an interesting model, and we are also interested that it is very important that the sound pollution, air pollution and water pollution is the highest priority for all of us. Regarding the energy crisis, this is the time for the country that we need to find out the alternative fuel where we can develop with the low cost. I am really happy that here is a huge potential for your business, but we have to use some innovative model for that. Some of the commercial airlines can take their old aircraft, passenger aircraft, convert into cargo system, and some of the defense aircraft also can be used for that. Government has already given facility for the transportation of agri-goods, and that is also a good boost for your business. The day will come that we will use hydrogen as a fuel for our aviation. Just one day before, I learned from Germany that they run 1,000 kilometer day train on green hydrogen. This is the time that we are developing a lot of alternative, and I am confident that by which we can reduce the logistic cost for transportation of air cargo by using low cost fuel. 100% it is going to increase more business for all of you. I am really happy that you are all trying to develop your business in the country. I have full support for all of you, and my ministry also, as a coordination between the aviation, the railway, waterways, sea transport and the road, where definitely you will need my help from my ministry. We will fully support for you. We are making logistic parts. We will make the pre-pooling plant, godowns, logistic part for all of you, and 100% we will cooperate you for increasing your business in India and in abroad. I am giving my all best wishes to all of you. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
It is the time for what we all have to wait for from really long. Yes, it is a release of the DACAAI yearbook 2022. We were glad that DACAAI has prepared the journey of DACAAI in 12 years is ready to be released now. In the presence of founders, yes, Mr. Nitin Gadkari, and the guest of honor that we have for extra month tax, may I request Mr. Suraj Vivar, Mr. Mahesh Malik, Mr. Makarajay, and Mr. Arvind Naik to be come on the stage to release the DACAAI yearbook 2022.
Okay.
Correct, Samuel?
Requesting all of you to please put your hands together and the release from the hand of the Spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, the mobility sequence is